Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden, from Cartoon Apocalypse, and welcome back to another promo analysis here on the channel. As always, if you want to stay updated on all of the Miraculous news, then you can go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Actually, leaving a like actually really helps me, so if you want to help support the channel, definitely leave a like. But we got another surprise promo. Gloob was like, hey, you know what? I kind of feel like airing a promo today, and that's just what they did. We found out a couple hours ago that they would be airing a promo because they released a couple images, and now we have the promo. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to be talking about the entire promo, and then at the end, my thoughts of how this episode is going to go. Also, I am still sick, so if I sound weird, that is why. And if you haven't seen the promo, link will be down in the description below. Go check that out. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into this promo. So first here, we see Ladybug approached by what appears to be Adrian, but we actually find out later is Felix. And then here, he's going in for the kiss, but obviously something's gonna happen, probably. I doubt Ladybug would be like that. You know, Adrian's probably just gonna show up and be like, what are you doing? Stop that, or something. That's my guess as to what's gonna happen, but I don't know. And then next is the really interesting part. Most of this episode, I'd guessed was gonna happen, like, yeah, okay, we're gonna be seeing Felix, he's gonna look like Adrian, etc. But now we see Emily, and then we see Emily walking later on, and I just don't understand what's going on. So we see Emily, and Gabriel is wiping off these rings, their wedding rings, and he puts the ring on Emily's finger, and then puts his ring on his finger, and then we cut to Natalie opening up the door, revealing Emily to Adrian and Gabriel. Now, why this is happening, I have no idea. These are the kind of things that make me really excited and really blown away from the episodes, and this has happened a lot in season 3, which is not something that I was expecting. And I really love it when we do get stuff that I'm not expecting, because usually this show is pretty predictable. So now for this episode, we are a lot more excited than we were. I mean, Camp Law has been taking all the attention, like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm super excited. Like, we knew that Camp Law was going to be awesome, but Felix, we were kind of like, okay, we don't necessarily know. It could just be like another ordinary episode just with a little bit of extra Felix-y stuff, like Adrian lore or whatever. But this seems to be an entire episode pretty much focused around Adrian, and that's something that the fans have been wanting for so long. It sort of feels like a finale, not totally, but it does have that, like, kind of a vibe. Like, Emily being revived, that's something that you would expect to see in a finale. So again, another episode that might have been a better put for the finale that we didn't get for the finale. Anyway, in this shot, Emily is wearing like a black robe, so that might symbolize something, I don't know. And then going back a little bit, Adrian looks really surprised because he hasn't seen his mother in probably a couple of years, I think. I can't remember. But I really just don't know what to expect from this. I will talk about my thoughts and theories on like how this happened at the end of the video, so if you're interested in hearing what I have to say, then you can stay till the end. But next we kind of go on to this other category of Felix and Adrian. So we see Felix here, and let me just add, if you haven't seen the anime PV, first of all, I'd recommend it because it's really good. Second, he looks pretty much identical to that anime PV, which is really cool, and I think that's just a really nice reference. They've made other references earlier on in the season, like Anime Astro, that I always think I pronounced that wrong. I think I pronounced that wrong. Anyway, that episode, it had some like anime PV stuff, so it's really cool that they are bringing that aspect into this show and bringing Felix in, because he looks exactly the same, and it's awesome. Now, we actually know from an Instagram post, yeah, believe it or not, an Instagram post, that Adrian hasn't seen Felix in, was it the past year? I don't know, it's been at least a year. So when they're reunited here, Felix just goes up and hugs Adrian. Adrian's happy, hugs him back, but then Felix like just kind of backstabs Adrian. He grabs his phone. First of all, how long does it take Adrian to realize that his phone's taken away? Like, Felix says he's gonna go take a shower, and he has his phone. Like, when does Adrian realize like something happened to his phone? He's like, does he just not care or something? I don't know. Anyway, while Felix is taking a shower, he's looking through Adrian's photo album like the little savage creep he is, I guess. I don't know what to categorize him as. And he sees these pictures of Ladybug. Now, from the synopsis and from what we know from the anime PV, as well as just stuff that Thomas has said about the anime PV and etc., we know that Felix is kind of like a mischievous. We know that at least when he was originally designed for the anime show, he was a darker character. But it seems like he's more mischievous here, so he's gonna go try to cause some trouble. And we know from the synopsis that he causes trouble with Alia, Rose, and Julika, so that's interesting, I guess. And also he gets into some issues with Ladybug with just trying to like hook up with her or something. So with all the information that he has, he gets dressed exactly like Adrian. This is exactly what I said would happen. I said that they would look very similar, and so he would just kind of fool everyone into thinking that he's Adrian. So nothing really surprising there. And then next we see Natalie barging into Adrian's room looking pretty mad. And I don't know, the next clip afterwards is Adrian looking, he doesn't look super happy, so he's probably like confused. And it appears to be that he's looking at Natalie, but I'm not exactly sure. There could have been some cut magic, maybe not, I don't know. And he turns around and he looks at Felix, maybe, I don't know, maybe their roles are swapped. Maybe the one sitting in the chair is Felix and he just basically takes over Adrian, and that's Adrian sitting down. I don't know, maybe Natalie's running in because she found out that Felix was causing trouble, and then just like Adrian's standing here, so Felix has nowhere to run. I don't know, something. Actually, that's probably a better guess. My guess is the one sitting down is Felix, and then the one standing up is Adrian, and then Natalie, like, Adrian told Natalie about what happened with Felix. I don't know, that's one idea. Could be flopped something with his mom, or Adrian's mom, I guess I should specify. I don't know, something with those two, something between those two lines, I guess. I don't know, or maybe something completely different, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the end of the promo. There's no other clips. But I'm really just hooked on this whole Emily thing and how she's being brought back to life. Now, and I guess I should say my first thought was that it's a sentient monster, and the rings kind of act as that device. You know, like in Ladybug, how Myra had the Eiffel Tower, and that was the device that controlled the Ladybug sentient monster. Well, the rings could be like a linking device that is the same thing. However, how would Gabriel explain that Emily is just suddenly alive again? Like, how would he explain, like, oh, it's a sentient monster, I'm actually a bad guy? Like, he couldn't do that. So my guess is that's not actually what's going on. Now, here's my guess as to, like, how this is happening. Again, this is just a complete guess. I have no evidence to back it up. This is just kind of what I would do if I was in the show writer's perspective, because honestly, I don't know what else to do. We know that Emily, she didn't die. She's in a deep sleep. And we know that she was in this state due to the Peacock Miraculous. Same thing happened with Natalie. I mean, she wasn't damaged as much as Emily was, but she was experiencing the pain. I don't know if she still is after the finale. Well, she would still be in this, but we don't know after the finale. Anyway, what if there was like one day out of the entire year where Emily felt good enough and she mustered up all the courage to get up for an afternoon or something, and she woke up, like maybe there's just like one day out of the year where she wakes up from this deep sleep because she's feeling well enough and can get up and walk around or whatever. I don't know. That's just my main guess as to how she is actually doing this, but in reality, it could really be anything. The show writers could throw anything at us. But one thing I'm really excited for in this episode is that we actually get to learn who Emily is as a person, and we can help determine if she was using the Peacock Miraculous for good or for bad. And that answer could entirely change the outcome of how Miraculous goes in the future. For example, if the Peacock Miraculous was being used for good, along with the Hawkmoth Miraculous, then if Gabriel succeeded in reviving Emily back to her original state, then there wouldn't be any Hawkmoth, and then that would mean that we would transition either to the future when Lila gets the Miraculous, if she does, or we would completely see like a different villain or whatever. Now, if she was doing it for evil, then that means that we will continue to see Gabriel and Emily as the bad guys, continuing to do what they were doing before Emily kind of forced all that to stop. I don't know. We don't know too much about what happened in the past, and hopefully we will learn some of what that was in this episode, but I'm just really excited for everything that could happen in this episode, because really it's open-ended. We don't know anything. We don't have any other previous knowledge that could help us guess what was going to happen, because again, the sentient monster thing just isn't likely, so it's probably going to be something where it's just like a one day of a year kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for this episode. We'll have to wait for these episodes to actually air before we determine if they were better or worse than the finale. But just from this, I'm thinking it might make a better finale if Emily was actually to stay revived, but I don't know. Anyway, if you weren't aware, we have new dates for Camp Blanc and Felix in English, by the way. So go check that video out. Link will be down in the description below. Made that yesterday, I think. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.